Hey, what's up, everybody? On today's Writer's Block Party Podcast, a podcast about creators being creative, we come up with ideas for a movie, TV show, or product, and we get to invite you along for the journey and the process. In today's episode, Annelise Dekker-Hernandez swings by the studio to help create something that you shouldn't not see. So stick around. Welcome to another episode of Writer's Block Party Podcast. I'm your host, R.C. Cepeda. Today we have your co-host, Ali Nakvi.
Hey, that's me.
And Annelise Dekker.
Hi.
Welcome. So, Annelise, are you excited?
I am excited.
Am I saying your name properly?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's actually Annelise Dekker-Hernandez.
Okay, Annelise
Dekker-Hernandez.
Thank you.
That's why I asked.
HDZ.
Annelise. All right. So, the Writer's Block Party Podcast, what we do is it's about creators being creative. I consider us creative individuals. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting down exactly like this, and I will present you with some platforms to choose from.
Okay.
Whether it's a movie, TV show, or a product. Mm-hmm. The product could be a book, a comic book, a game, a video game, game show, anything outside of movie and TV.
Okay.
And then once you choose that platform, I will hit you with 3 different names, titles, jumping off points, whatever. Just 3 different concepts. Okay. And then we create it from there.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Good. I'm ready.
Love it.
Movie, TV show, product. What do you think? What do you think?
I think I'm going to go with movie.
Movie? Okay.
Yeah.
Movies are great. I love films. I got 3 names for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good to Go.
Okay.
Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
This is all he does all day. He's come up with these stupid things.
No,
he has a job too.
I got it. It took me a second, but I got there.
And then
that one writes itself.
Let's go with Break the Norm.
Break the Norm.
Break the Norm. Deep Space Nine.
I'm sorry you had to hear this.
Oh.
I hope you still listen to the rest of it.
Oh gosh.
Good to Go.
Which
one's calling you?
I don't know. I feel like Good to Go is like what I was initially drawn to, but I don't know if Deep Space Nine can just be passed up like this. I think. I'm so sorry, everybody, but
is it like Star Wreck, Deep Space Nine?
I think. See, you're already cooking. So I feel like we've got to. I feel like Deep Space Nine is not something that we can just skate over.
It's a subtitle, maybe. Deep Space Nine is pretty good. It could be like one of those parody movies on.
Yeah, that could be that.
Star Trek.
It's a movie. It's in the line of that.
Okay, so
we're going with Deep Space Nine.
Unfortunately, I think we have to. We don't have a choice
Nazis.
Here.
Clearly,
things are saying what we were all thinking.
This is a Nazi.
See,
another Nazi project.
We've done this before. Nazis in space.
We've been down a Nazi path.
I think it was put Nazis
we've done
space.
The Nazi thing with Chris. We did the
terror the
right because we made them Nazis because who doesn't hate Nazis?
But then we pulled it back and then went to
pulled it back and then it was something. Go back and listen to it.
The beauty of this show is that we're creating it as we speak right now, as you listen, as you hear, as you watch.
I'm just thinking Deep Space Nine sounds like a subtitle.
He's just so proud of himself for it. Also,
he is. He won't let go. I like it. I like Deep Space Nine.
Like, it's not going to be about Nazis.
So we could make it an anti-Nazi, or like not anti-Nazi.
It has to be. The villains have to be.
So it's space Nazis.
That could be it.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that's great. Maybe it's space
and you're not
Nazis.
Offending anybody because
it's like aliens who somehow adopted the qualities from like serving Earth during World War II.
Oh my God!
Aliens that adopted the qualities of Nazis. So it's both like an otherworldly enemy.
Their only recollection of Earth was like. The only film they acquired was the Holocaust.
When he
was propaganding out everywhere, and it somehow got to the aliens.
And then the end story.
Actually, maybe somebody on Earth actually was like, "This is terrible. Nobody can see this. We have to get it out of here." Once we won, and they just launched it into space. Yeah, they shot it into space.
This is good.
Okay, like Rita Repulsa.
Yeah, they were like, "What's the way we can like make sure we get rid of this?"
Yeah.
Okay, and I like the time capsule.
They shot it
into space.
So
they hit an alien in the head with it, and the alien was like, "What is it?"
And then that was what they used as a model for their civilization.
They watched film strips and were like,
"Oof."
Oh, so this is
this Hitler guy seems like he knows what he's talking about.
It's basically Sharknado, except instead of a shark and a tornado, it's aliens and Nazis.
But Nazi aliens. But they they saw what he was up to and they were like, this seems correct.
This must be their leader.
So they're following that path.
Yeah.
That's deep.
And so they're
Nine.
no. Oh, come on. That's already the name of the movie. We don't have to say it all the time. But anyways, so yeah, so it's about
I
these
feel like if we can avoid
Nazi
saying the
aliens.
theme that we're following, yes, okay.
Nazi aliens.
And obviously, like,
It's a parody film. It's
It's
like
a
a
parody.
That would be
super like
I mean,
airplane
Sharknado
style,
is very
very
over the
tongue-in-cheek,
top.
Airplane is
self-aware, campy.
very self-aware. It
The
knows
reason why my
exactly what
puns
it's
are here
doing.
is 'cause of the
It's
parody.
making fun of all the things.
I remember growing up and like there was Hot Shots Part 2,
Right.
Naked Gun,
Naked Gun, all the
films.
Naked Gun
Oh, yeah.
movies.
We've gone away from that.
Yeah.
So this is a great time for them.
Did we though? We did all the scary movie ones.
Yeah, but
like
now
all
in
the-
this time, like think what's the last
they're still
one in the
making
past,
them like every time there's
5
like
years.
every time they
Yeah.
make like a Hunger Games, there was like a Hunger one. There was like they're always
They're
just
not as
straight
good,
to Netflix
though.
and garbage.
Yeah, the
But if we make a
original
good
scary
one,
movie
right.
was
Oh,
Right.
that
Scary
was
movie.
genius.
unfortunately
It
pretty
was-
funny.
love
I
it.
did
So
see a
good.
little bit of Scary Movie 2 recently, and it was on in that part
Scary
with Chris
Movie 2.
Elliott.
Yeah.
Yes.
the little hand.
That's so
And
good.
now
the best part
every
of the
time
movie.
I see, first of all, Chris Elliott plays that character in
So
every
well.
movie
like nobody
he's in.
else. Yeah.
But that one where he's like, "Take my strong
Take my strong
hand."
hand.
Like, how did this hold up?
Or
But
they're
all
like-
jokes.
They're
over
like
time.
reaching for something. He's like, "Let me get it." He's like,
He stirs the mashed potatoes with his
my germs, my germs.
just bare hand,
That's so good.
raw.
And
Hand.
I personally love Anna Faris, and who has an amazing podcast, by the way. Check it out if you haven't listened to it. Where she's like, "I'm not crazy," and then she like runs like this, like all completely.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
like a crazy person.
Genius.
No, she's brilliant in all of those
I
films.
feel like
and
that's how I
that's
look
the
when
thing
I
is-
run. Too.
Right. Well, man, and we did hit a stream of them where they were really good, and then they like overdid it and they beat it to death. But then Sharknado worked. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It was
It's on Sharknado
'cause
5,
it's something
right?
different, and it's like, hey, Mars Attacks worked. Mars Attacks was
That's
weird.
great.
Like if you put a spin on it that they're Nazi aliens, like who would not see that movie?
Who would not see that movie?
I just said that.
You didn't
I just
enunciate
said
it.
that.
You didn't enunciate it clearly
You
enough for us
didn't do
to
it.
know how it was spelled.
He
Like he had to do with 9.
You said who Nazi. Okay, anyways, that's too many words. This episode has had too many of that word. But okay. Parody is great.
Okay, so
But like beat it to death parody, where like everything that happens, we take it to 11. It's like over the top, very
I think
very.
starting with alien Nazis as the villain is like
Exactly.
pretty.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
starting up.
So it's
there.
like I think that's like the
Starting strong.
What? How does it start? How does it begin? How do we
Well-
find out about these alien Nazis that are? Do we?
Well, I think that
Do one of them land and they start looking for Hitler?
I feel like to figure out how Earth is responding to this, I feel like America would make themselves very central in this fight, but like maybe not be the best choice. So I think it has to be like an international group of astronauts
Okay.
who have to like go into space and
Like they're
fight
set
them.
out to that's their mission.
So
Yeah.
we're going to go fight them out on their territory.
Yeah, although now that I'm thinking about it, maybe you're right. Maybe they need to come to Earth.
what if it starts off where we are like the first setting is we're Earth and we get this emergency message.
Actually, I think
Incoming.
the
yeah,
prologue
yeah.
needs to be the end
Yeah.
of World War II, the person trying to get rid of, like, it
Oh, it's in
starts
the
out
past.
victorious, just this first part. So it's like, it starts out like everybody's celebrating the end of World War II, and then it's like back in Germany, somebody's trying to hide this evidence and like
Then they ship
all
it out.
the
You see them
history,
like
and they shoot
no,
it into space.
someone should see this, and then they send it off, and then like.
And then you do the like however many years later.
Yeah.
12,000
Make it current.
Okay.
I feel like
Current,
make it
current,
current.
or do we want it to be like somewhat in the past?
Okay. Well,
Like, do we want it to be like the information age now, or do we want it to be like in the 90s, or do we want it to be in the 70s?
to go with that though, I think I like where your head's at. I'm thinking
Just because.
is if we try to come up with like how do we combat and defend ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to think of like defending ourselves now with technology that we have here?
Well, just also when is it the funniest for an alien life form to land on Earth and be like, so where's this Hitler guy? We're here to follow him. You know what I mean? And they all come in and they're like,
I mean,
when
I
is it
think-
most effective?
I feel like even now that would be effective because I think that people would respond so much like,
There was like a
why
media
are you?
blitz,
Yeah,
yeah.
they would be like they would be less concerned about the fact that these people that these creatures are like aliens and be more like, whoa, that's like super not woke.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
Like if they landed in like a contemporary city and they like started talking
We're
about
so
how they were
involved
Hitler
with,
followers,
like-
and because it would like run parallel to what's
should-
happening right
Yeah.
now,
Like
that they
Portland.
would
They
be
should
like,
land in
"Whoa,
Portland,
this is like
Austin."
yes,
Yeah.
like in Portland," and they could be like, "Oh, like you must be this alt right we've heard about," and it's like, and they're like just like
Coming back
not
to
picking
this.
up on the fact that they're just like not even from Earth,
Yeah.
and just like
I
way
like
more
that.
concerned with their politics.
I like that. Okay, I'm set with that. Are you set with that?
I like that this takes place in contemporary Portland.
Because Portland is Portland.
Yeah.
That's where they would land.
That's where they would cause the most trouble, and that's that's what we want to watch. We want to see this conflict.
All right, let's think.
So do they also land in Germany? Do they go to Germany first and they're like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? Like, do they land there or do they land
But if they,
here? Or like, did they just get the message and they're like, this happened yesterday, where's Hitler? You know what I
wonder,
mean? Like,
yeah, how many
how much
of them
time has
do we
gone
think
by? Yeah, how many? Is it an
land
army
on Earth?
lands?
Do they like go in different
Do they
places?
send a scout first? A small ship vessel
I like
that
the
has
scout idea where
10 people
there's a
in it?
scout, like where his mission is Earth, and like trying to see, okay, like or they're sending him off to all the planets.
I'm
to
kind of seeing this
research.
as sort of foolish. So I feel like you start with just a small group of the aliens.
Good. That's good because they don't. Yes, a small group of aliens. I love that. And then it's that they don't know where it came from.
They're trying to find it.
They are looking for it.
yeah.
They've been looking for it for however many years it's been.
Wait, so then when
50,
they're
60 years.
yeah, when they're in Portland, they're like, wait, we're trying to get to
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
They're like telling people we're trying to get
find
to Germany.
Germany. But
We're
they're
looking for
Are they speaking?
for Hitler's Germany, and everybody's like, whoa,
you just said the H word.
ugh,
The H bomb is not welcome.
not
here.
cool.
Yeah, still too soon.
Yeah.
How many years is it? Not too soon.
For Hitler, I think he's got some time left. He's got to pay his time.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that a lot. I like that. But going back, like, so is it a big group of these?
No, I think it's a small. Right.
Yeah, I think it's a small group.
It's like they've been. I think they have
like
maybe
a captain
maybe they
and,
have
like-
separate groups going to different planets.
How unhuman do they look?
That's a good question.
It's
Or
a good
are
question.
they able to like?
I think they should
adapt?
have flowing white blonde hair.
Yeah, just
and
like
blue
look like
eyes,
weird humans.
but everything else is completely different. But like they still hit the blue eyes and the blonde hair.
Just one of them
That's
end
like-
up becoming a model instead of like following the.
I feel like they have to like get jobs.
Because if they're like tall,
They gotta pay bills.
Because I feel like
Because I think
they're
the
not
Conehead style.
evil. I feel like
Conehead,
they're not
yeah,
See,
they're
evil.
this
trying
is what
to
I'm
act
saying.
like
Okay,
it,
so
yeah.
that's the other.
They're
Maybe
referencing
this small group landed years ago, same as Coneheads kind of style. Coneheads was the premise was that they landed and they were supposed to send back word when they have taken over, and they just assimilated.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's something like that where one of them has become a model.
Yeah, I think
and
that's good.
and then word gets back to like Big Boss Man, and they've been here for a few years, maybe not 30 years or something, like they don't have a kid or something like that, but maybe it's been a few years.
You got something.
I don't know. I want to.
And then from when
Don't lose it.
they find out like oh shit, they're just living there. Then they send like the boss man comes in and he's like, hey, what happened?
So you're on Instagram now? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah, we saw your
What is
Instagram.
Instagram?
I like that. So what I was thinking was.
He becomes Instagram famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely because they're so striking
Yeah.
looking. Like
Yeah.
they look like a human, but like more.
Like nothing we've ever seen. He's on the cover of everything. He makes everything look good. His body shapes to whatever he's wearing.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. Everything fits him like perfectly.
That's what so I think these aliens are like
They're
not
amorphous.
necessarily. Yeah.
They change shape.
Yeah.
Maybe they can change shape.
That's
if
why
They're
they-
very
they-
adaptive, and
Maybe
that's
they
why
can
they're able to fit
they,
in.
What were you
fit
gonna say
into
earlier?
Hitler's
What were you gonna
America.
No, I still have it.
Hitler's
So,
Germany.
my idea was that they, shoot, now I am losing it.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. It's going to
Wanna
come back. That these aliens are not necessarily evil. They just like, they are using their impression of propaganda. So it's like they think they know, and that's what they want to
trying
follow.
from what they- yeah.
But then after they've sort of assimilated, they eventually connect with like an alt-right group because they're like, oh, these people are similar to us, but they've like sort of adapted to their environment. And so once they meet the alt-right people, they're like, wait, these guys are really mean. We don't want to be like them. And so they like
good.
change. They
And
actually
they changed the course of history.
Yeah.
That's
Well, they
good.
changed their point
It
of
comes
view
from
because
that.
initially it was just all from this propaganda.
Yeah.
But they like meet a few people who are like, whoa, like
This
you're
is how
very
it is.
interesting
Yeah.
looking, and like you seem like you're not from here, so I'm just gonna be like friendly to you.
Yeah,
And
What
so
is
they
the
like,
skin you have? It's
yeah, they
brown.
experience.
What is that?
Yeah, they experience like human kindness and make friends with like some sort of typical Portland hipsters, maybe, and that's how one like gets into the modeling Instagram
Oh man,
game.
Portland hipsters is like the
But then they've seen this like human kindness, this like very
Oh, no, no, no,
well-intentioned,
it's
though
perfect,
sometimes misguided
Yeah.
human kindness. And then when they like are set up with people that they're like, oh, you'll have something in common with these people because
Mhm.
they're like the alt-right or whatever, and they're like, oh, these people are
crazy.
they're very angry,
Yeah,
they're unpleasant.
yeah.
I don't
What's
like
going
this
on?
at all.
What are they talking about?
And then the aliens turn out to have hearts of gold. This is
Hearts
a
of
feel-good
gold.
movie.
It is. It's a feel good movie, and I think different planets will watch this movie
This is gonna be
because
the
I think it's
first-
gonna reach out to other planets. And they'll be like,
the
oh,
first
this
universal
is like
success.
So-
propaganda.
Propaganda.
Let's put a pin in what we're talking about right now. I already have it written down.
Okay.
And let's jump to you.
Okay.
I want to learn about you. We want to learn about you and hear about you.
Great. I have produced 2 feature films myself. One is called Peach Plum Pear. Yeah.
Plum pear.
Yes, and some of the actors in it are this guy Tyler Blackburn, who was on Pretty Little Liars and the spin-off show Rosewood. Alana Masterson, who's on The Walking Dead.
Nice.
And Alex Bay. He's been in a lot of stuff over the years. And yeah, I'm really excited for it to see the world. And a couple of years ago, I also did a film called We Don't Belong Here with Catherine Keener, Carrie Elwes, Maya Rudolph, and Molly Shannon were in it.
Nice.
Good cast.
And it
Yeah.
was
Great
one of the
cast.
last. Yeah, it was a really good
That's a good
cast.
dream cast.
Yeah,
We'll-
Caitlin
we'll-
Dever was
we'll
our
have
lead.
fun. It's
something we
who's
would
a-
put together.
A young
Yeah.
actor. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was one of Anton Yelchin's last films, so it was a great opportunity that I got to work with him.
That's awesome.
And
Heck
yeah, and he had some of the other producers on that project are actually working on, who just put out a documentary about Anton's life as well.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
great.
But let's
Let's
jump
come up
back
with some
to
characters first.
Yeah.
I definitely love, the assimilation. They find the human kindness, which I think is great. Hearts of Gold, because I love twists in films. I think we all love twists, right? So I think that'd be great. Where it's got that horror aspect, where like the thriller style, where we don't know these aliens. Are they bad guys? Are they trying to kill us? What are they trying to do? But then at the end, we find out that they're just trying to
They're just misguided.
understand.
Yeah.
They just
Because
don't know.
they're. I mean, if you think about it, like you put yourself in a different country, you don't understand.
man.
You don't
Right. Yeah.
maybe
that's true.
maybe at the beginning this is like whoa, I don't know. This is the beginning. Maybe they have this ideal of what it should they think that you're supposed to look like: blonde hair, blue eyes, what they hear in the German speak, and they're like, this is what's supposed to be, right? And that's what they start as, and then throughout the film they start like slowly changing their appearance because they're amorphous. They can change to whatever they want. So as they become more tolerant, or as they be like slowly, it doesn't have to be something you call out to, but like slowly their appearances start to change as they be
I like that.
Wow.
it's like Pleasantville, but like
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the opposite.
This is deep.
This is very deep. It's
I don't know.
deep space.
I
Nine.
love
weird. Oh, Jesus, because it goes
Wow.
deep in space.
And then like the trailer could be like 10, 9, 9, 9.
Wow. This is
Are we done with that? That's
really
it?
something.
I'm done here.
I'm done.
Yeah, we should pack this up.
No, okay. So the appearances start to change. Looks change. Okay, let's think about like some major anchors in the film. Major, as far as events, right? Like some.
So how many of them?
Time
how many
frame,
of
though.
them
We
are we having
mentioned-
come in?
It's now contemporary,
Yeah, it's like
modern.
contemporary,
Okay.
current.
So should we show where they're coming to Earth like maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Not since
5
like
years ago? Not too long.
Yeah.
I think just a few years, so that it's like very similar recently, like when this whole movement kind of started a few years ago. Because I don't think it was even like maybe like when the Tea Party was around,
Yeah, maybe right before the 2016 election.
and they started to see like the Tea Party and kind of oh you're saying like super recently.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Because I was
you're
saying the
going
Tea
back
Party
to-
is like the
19,
previous one. No,
18,
no,
15.
no, not
12?
that far. It's like four more years back.
2012.
Yeah, yeah. That's
When the election was.
Yeah. So
Not
I mean,
like
we could go
years.
like just that many years back, 4 or 5 years back, or we could just go 2 years back, and it's only been 2 years since right when things change. Like they pick the perfect time to get here and decide.
I like that. I can go with that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's an option of a couple years or 5 years, something like that. I mean, would be somewhere in the. I think that's a good range.
Yeah.
So it gives them a little bit of time to like kind of assimilate, but not a ton of time where it's years and years. I think anything like 10, it would be completely different because 10 years ago their movement wasn't.
Think recent.
Very recent, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They've been here 2 years. 2 years later.
Yeah.
They landed in 2016.
Well, I think we just show them. Do we show them from the point that they land?
I mean, I think
we do because I think we like see them when they land. So maybe they land like sometime in the last 2 years, and then we see this
their evolution
journey.
into today. Kind of, we don't have to. I mean, and maybe it's like okay, they land and there's 10 of them, or let's just as an example, and they're like, okay, let's pair up. We'll be a couple. We'll be a kid and a father, and they all just like become whatever they need to become. And move into the society, and they just kind of start like
they get jobs. And
and they start living their lives. And so one of them is like they fake these whole like identities and this whole like
and they're like
everything.
People, but there's just like something that's like off about them.
Like they're still like learning.
They're just super like rigid and like
right,
tall.
Like they don't blink.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Sure. Something weird where we give them traits, just like every other like alien movie when they come in like that was the Mars Attacks one.
Yeah.
That's very iconic. And then there was like the Men in Black one where he was like this and he's
skin
talking like that. Yeah, it's like crazy. Like there's different
sugar,
ways we
water.
can have some. Yeah, exactly. So we can have some different, and it depends on what actors we use. But they also, I think they have the Hitler. They have this robotics.
So there's that leader.
I think that
let's make him super short. Like let's do the complete opposite because wasn't he like complete like not?
But the thing is,
blonde,
I think they can. I think they change. They can change.
Oh.
I think we don't have to go with that. I just like that.
I'm ready to see them like all saluting and stuff though. That's like I'd like to keep that to a minimum.
Totally no, but I think that's the thing is when they get there and they assimilate and they're like, we were wrong. That was absolutely incorrect. What he was talking about. This is what life is. And then when the other guys show up, they're the bad guys. And then they rally and they're like, hey, we're like them. And we're here to help you guys battle them because they're about to come blow up.
The scouting faction is what comes in and assimilates. And then the rest of their people come in. And that's who they all have to fight against. And they have to decide whether to go with their people.
So they go to the White House and they're like,
they defend us.
Yeah.
Yes, the 10 or whatever, however many the search party was, group. And I feel like there's like different search parties they have going all over the
Maybe
fucking
they've
universe.
been off the meter for a minute, so they're like, wait, where is Section 9? Yeah. Section 9, where is it? Let's find it.
Sure, but
it, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Seriously.
Section 9.
Do you guys ever have anyone who like listens to this and does a drinking game?
I don't think anybody listens to this. So.
But if they do,
we're lucky when one person is like, "Hey,
good
job, son." Good job, son. Yeah, we're lucky when we get that. So we'll get there.
We have listeners from outer space apparently for this episode.
I hope so, man. No, we were looking at our stats. We have like people in Thailand listening.
Thailand, Spain,
killing it.
Mexico.
It might have been the Christmas thing. Because Christmas is all over the world. I don't know if you guys knew about this. Christmas is around the world. Anyways, let's back on track.
All right, scouting faction. I love that. Should we get into casting?
Well, okay. I think before we do that, the characters who are not the aliens, we have to figure out like who they are because I think that they're all
human interactions.
Right, so they all eventually like start becoming close to human beings just from like integrating into society, and I think those are the people that sort of help their arc and their change. So that's I feel like those are important.
So do they split up all in Portland, or they spread farther than that?
I think 10 might be too many.
10 is too many. 7?
So let's say 7. And so there's like a couple pairs.
There's the driver, the pilot. There's like the pilot.
And then like a few people who go off on their own. There's like a few pairs and then some people who go off. Yeah, so like a parent-child and then 2 become a couple. And maybe 3 become like a nuclear family, 2 become a couple, and then the other 2 are off on their own a little bit.
Scientists, like the researchers, they just
7, right?
Yeah,
they're off
too many,
getting samples and shit.
Yeah, so they're in a group of 3, a group of 2, and 2 singular travelers.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I think one of the singular travelers gets a job at a bookstore.
He's a hobo.
No,
because then he sees everything.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
And you don't know he's one of them.
So is he like...
Everybody just goes, and it goes and assimilates, and they can change form, so they could change all the time.
Yeah.
One of them is like the pretender.
So is the one who is living on the street, like, is he like surprised by the... I feel like he would be treated poorly.
I think he should be the one that is the answer to something.
Yeah.
Because yes, we see him
because he
being
sees the
treated
best
poorly.
and worst of people.
And so we're he's the key at the end.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole film, he's pushed off to the side, he's kicked out, he's shoved, because he's he's living that character.
Mm-hmm. Where were you going to have the singular person go?
Well, I was going to have, maybe this could be the same guy, maybe where he posts up in front of frequently as like a bookstore.
Okay.
And so he meets somebody who works at the bookstore. And maybe it's somebody who takes the time to talk to him because she sees him every day, and while she
buys him a cup of coffee, kind of thing.
Right, and so they just start having kind of a casual friendship, and so that's one of the people who he sees the best of a person, and the people that pass him every day. Yeah, and she's she works in a bookstore, so she knows a lot about a lot of different things, and maybe he explains himself as being from another country or something, so he's trying to learn
because
from her.
That's he's a crazy guy. He's a crazy guy.
Right,
so
yeah.
He's speaking that language.
Why are we at a bookstore?
I just thought Portland bookstores.
Killing it. Okay. I was just
Humanitarians.
Okay.
Because he lines up very well.
He could just be the one that has a thirst for knowledge. So, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't have to be a hobo. I was just wondering because I said hobo.
I like that aspect.
But we don't have to do that. We could go a completely different direction. He just wants to learn. So maybe he goes to the library a lot. Because I like the idea of him wanting to learn. One of them should just be I'm just going to go. He's also on their planet, he's the one that, he's the kind of the documentor. He's the one that learns as much as possible about the space. Maybe that's a different character. I don't know. But ultimately there should be, each person should have a job. Hey, you're going out to go do this. You're going to go find this. You're going to go find this. You're going to find out what, you know what I mean?
Well,
each person has a task.
The group of 3 and 2 and the singular ones, the group of 3 is finding out how families live.
Boom.
And then the one posing as a couple is supposed to be the in between life stage kind of people trying to learn, or people what are millennials,
how to live life here.
Better term, yeah. And then the 2 on their own are going into the working world in some capacity, or
one is dating, researching. One is totally yeah.
One could be
cultural kind of
cultural,
the whole
anthropology,
scientist.
Yep.
College student. I don't know.
Anthropologist.
There's so much there to this because it's reliving life in a sense, right?
Yeah. Them learning,
dissecting our world and what we're used to.
And then they probably get together and talk about their different experiences. They need to have Earth humans that they're all interacting with as well.
Yeah, totally. And that's why I'm wondering if they spread farther than Portland or if they stay local to it. I mean, that's fine. If they're all in Portland, that's cool. But I think then how
maybe there could be a traveler who goes to Seattle or goes to California,
or even I think if one of them is still trying to get to Germany to because they don't know yet that it's he's not good,
homeward bound, or
they don't know yet that they're wrong.
In today's age, I think they know though.
Yeah,
because technology and everything, I feel like they would.
Well, there could be that arc where one
I think
Googles
he could go to Germany
there,
and he could be in Germany and be going to the goth nightclubs and it's contemporary Germany, and they actually work very hard to separate themselves from that, and so he kind of learns there even where this came from doesn't agree with this anymore.
Yeah,
and it's that light switch, holy shit, we were lied to.
Yeah.
And then he reports back to the rest of the group, and he's like, oh yeah, guys, we were wrong.
Yeah.
We're absolutely wrong.
Let's help these people out.
And then I love that, the rest of their people come invade.
They don't help out until they
invade. Until the villain guy comes in.
Yeah, because then they invade, or one of them, the other search party finds the planet too, and they're not as enthused about it.
Friendly.
They're what? Okay, cool. We got to destroy these people. Yeah, their leader is more aggravated.
Yeah, they're more dead set. They're more persuaded by the propaganda. They're not open to the Earth experience.
They're easily swayed.
That's so good because that's so good.
And then it shows you that anybody can be swayed.
The film Pleasantville, where just changes and the colors, and they're just oh my god.
As they have the options for unhappiness and the full
and
spectrum
so
of the human
as they all
experience.
land, they look very similar to each other, so it's hard, like it's almost even hard to tell them apart. And then slowly the ones that land in the first group start changing, and the other ones that are like, hey, this is what we're supposed to look like, land, and then they don't change. And
Changing how? Like from blonde?
Everything, yeah. Like
to...
I think their hair starts getting browner, slowly, and then one of them is their hair is black. I mean, they can change to whatever they want to look like, but I think like ultimately they should all still want to look like blonde hair, blue eyes, what they're supposed to look like. So all of them kind of look like they're supposed to at the beginning. And then as they assimilate, they're like, wait, there are so many more options out there.
Yeah, and I wonder if like some of them start changing their complexion and are confronted by the other aliens.
And you see the pigmentation change.
Totally. Yeah. And we could cast so many people in it then.
Yeah.
It would be like an endless cast. As they start changing, we could like change the character and that's it. And then you would just keep what their names are, and we just have to create their like.
But that's why they need a feature that makes them kind of like
unique to each other, or like
so
something.
So you know who you're following.
Right.
Maybe they have like fingers for ears, so there's...
Oh my god. We'll get there.
I was thinking like the stuff like not blinking is kind of would communicate that.
Yeah, that works too.
Like
the finger ears.
Fingers
on Deep Space Nine.
Sorry. I'm already sad in this. I think this is good.
This is a good I think we've got something here.
Let's get into casting.
Okay.
So it's endless. I don't want to do the casting. Because it's like
there's a lot of characters to this.
Hans Eric Christian Olsen. Right?
All the Skarsgårds.
Some Skarsgårds. Blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, hey, we're casting blonde hair, blue eyes. Boom. That's the cast.
But then how do we get away with like changing people's skin tone?
We do it in we start casting people that look very similar, or we start like doing makeup, CGI. There's all kinds of like, we just change the person, or we know who they're going to become. So maybe it's like, dude, they're doing it in like all these kind of crazy Marvel movies, and they're doing it in like all kinds of different stuff. But
that's true.
You can just change people's faces. So maybe it's like, okay, we know who they're going to become. So
I think you want to keep the same actors so that it's
find the
easier
middle.
to follow
That'd be great. Who. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But then you just like change their features.
Or maybe like slowly, it's like you have a person that like you do a CGI. There's like an app for this where you could put like my face and his face, and be like, what would we look like if we were
face swap?
Yeah, but there's face swap, but there's
also where you merge it.
Face morph.
Where
it could like what we would look like if we were
be some face morphing.
Like, morphed together.
So
if we did something like that where it was in the middle ground, we do that CGI to their face, and then it becomes someone else. Then we're good to go. Then we cast a couple people who they're going to become, who they are, and then do the CGI in the middle.
And then some Earthlings. We need some Earthlings for them to, other than the one gal.
The one gal?
The one gal who's kind to the
Man.
bookstore
We can what?
Oh, okay. So the two aliens that are posing as a couple, maybe they meet somebody who creates sort of like a love triangle with one of them.
Yeah.
Like somebody who gets in between. Yeah, like.
No, one of them finds out what love is.
Yeah, one of them finds out what real love is with somebody else, but they're supposed to be posing as a couple.
And they're supposed to be a couple.
So then they have to like
whoa,
go
what
through
is
the human
this?
experience of a breakup.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is this feeling?
It just shows like that.
And
it's
the
a couple
other one
years.
Feels like rejected, even though they weren't in a real relationship.
So it's like just like this betrayal.
It's
and
on
like,
Tinder.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's like it's like the whole thing, but it's like seeing it through an alien's eyes of like, if we get on Tinder and then have to swipe right.
Seeing an
so
alien
whole
on
thing
Tinder.
is so cool. Yeah. I know it's
watching somebody understand online
like,
dating for the first time.
We call it Ninder.
Well, and the good thing, no, we don't.
Stop this.
We move on. And
Stop
then the other
once.
thing that they could do is like, since they like they can change themselves, maybe that's one of the ones that is like, I could change myself to look like whatever I want.
And then maybe it starts being like, I could change myself to look like whatever that person wants. And then they start like losing their sense of self.
Yes, so that's life right now.
Oh my god.
So I think in the couple that are posing as a guy, as a guy and a girl.
Couple, yeah.
That the guy meets somebody and experiences real love with them, and then the girl kind of starts losing herself because she like learns about Earth dating and then starts changing herself
does the
suit
guy
it. And then
fall
she's
in
like,
real love though?
I think so.
The
I
guy
think,
with a real human.
where he's
The
just like,
guy?
these are
Human
emotions.
woman.
Guys fall in love.
He needs to be like
Alien guys do.
emotions.
That's true. They're more emotional than us.
But you realize
do
that
they
these
have
are
males
deep
and
emotions.
females in this?
No, they're just posing as.
No, but in their Alien, they only have males.
I think the aliens don't subscribe to gender as we know it, but maybe they're like forming themselves to be.
They're building it as
men
they go.
and women, yeah.
And they're researching and they're educating themselves. Like, oh, I should
They're
do this. I should
morphing,
do
yeah.
that. I'm set.
So they're not like bugs. We're like the female males.
No.
Anyways, whatever.
No.
I'm set.
I
Are
don't
you
think
set?
so. But yeah, so I'm interested in this couple. The woman learns how to date, and then she starts morphing herself to be what these guys she's meeting want, and kind of loses her sense of self, and then has a little bit of an existential meltdown because it's like because she can morph into anything, she doesn't really know what her
What she
true
wants to choose. Yeah, her
form
true
is,
identity.
and she has to find like who she is
Herself.
on the inside.
Just find herself. Oh, it's
That's
so
good.
good.
That's
And then the other one's found love, and the other one's over there doing research and all that, and then the other
And
one's
then
come
one
in.
and one traveled.
One's in Germany trying to find
Yeah.
home.
And then
The
then
three.
the three that are the nuclear family. What lessons are they learning?
They find family.
They're finding family. So they're finding like all the different
They find that like, hey,
different versions of what a family is,
and to
of
take
what
care,
a real
to
family is.
show unconditional love. Like
There's
they
also
find
something about like
'Cause
the
they
one
don't
who's
have a
posing,
family
the one
unit.
who was posing as a child is super pissed because they like feel like
Yeah.
they're getting the raw end.
It's like
of the
Joseph
deal.
Gordon-Levitt and Rock in the Sun. Yeah. Oh, it's so good because he was like the boss,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
This is the character I am.
I'm JGL. I'm not cool for another 10 years." Cool. All right. Well,
great.
I mean, I think that covers all of like our main
Yeah, the basics.
first search party. We can get into the second search party another time, I think.
Yeah,
But
How are you feeling?
and then we attack.
I feel so good about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah?
Like
Pretty good.
I
Same
really
here.
love this. I would watch this.
Yeah.
Would you make this?
I would definitely try to write this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of the Writers Block Party podcast. is we create these ideas, and who knows? Honestly, like who knows?
We're like 2/3
Who
from
knows
line
out
already.
Who knows which Skarsgård brothers listening to this? And is
Alexander,
thinking,
you
like,
listening?
Hey, I'm listening. Gustav is like, hey, I'm listening, and I'm like,
I fit these
interested.
features. I'm tall, blonde, blue-eyed.
Yeah.
But no, that's the beauty of the show is.
But they have to change. I love that.
I think I'd
Yeah.
rather cast people of color and then put them in whiteface.
But it's not like blatant white face.
It's not. It's just you're making them like blonde.
But I
You
don't
put them in a
even know
blonde
if it's
wig and some
necessarily white face. It's CGI, so it's like a gray area.
contacts. Yeah.
No, because you can make like anybody look like anything now. Where it's like Thanos doesn't look like Thanos. It's Josh Brolin.
That's very true.
Yes.
I'm white. I'm not offended.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Especially if they're
that's
gonna be Nazis.
It's
Yeah.
the voice we needed. It's the opinion.
Yeah, we just
That was a
Right,
voice
but
of
one
reason.
time
Yeah.
you chime in,
Yeah.
it's like, go whiteface. Who
Yeah.
cares?
we're over here like
Oh my god, it feels so good.
walking on metaphorical German eggshells over here.
Well,
All this whole episode over here.
But I think that the thing to take from the
Take
whole
away.
theme of Deep Space Nine, which is the title is being
currently,
workshopped.
I think it's a subtitle.
It could be a subtitle, but I think that the theme of it is that even like
Space.
even even in space, like once these other life forms like learn humanity, like good and bad, they both learn and like teach the Earthlings they interact with that like that there's a commonality to find and to respect people's differences and
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then they come back and they're like, "Hey, Earthlings, listen, we're not like you. We actually look like this." And they like show face, and they're like, "There's 7 of us, and these
the
guys
one
are
that was
here
a-
about
the
to
one
come
that was
kill
an
you."
Instagram model also like once he returns to his like real form, they like love him even more. He
Yeah.
becomes the toast of the
Gotta be
town
it.
after they defeat the other aliens.
Oh, it's-
I
But
can't
I'm
wait.
still
I
thinking
can't
about
wait
his
to
career,
watch this.
so.
I can't wait to watch this and walk out with those feelings.
Yeah.
I really can't. Honestly.
It's a feel good. It's a
This is
heartwarmer.
another great episode of Writers Block Party Podcast. Thank you
Thank
for
you guys
listening
so
and
much.
watching. This is your time to plug whatever you like. We'll be
Just
around.
put like a
Ooh, yeah, plug.
a website. Or...
Yeah, my handles on the internet are at Los Annelise, LOSANNELISE. And I don't have anything to plug right now except, if there's any casting directors watching, listening, you can see me soon in the next thing you're casting if you bring me in.
Yeah.
Nice.
And thanks for listening.
You can check us out at writersblockparty.com, PRTY.
Or on
That's
Google, or on Spotify, or
iTunes,
on all that other stuff.
all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Writers Block Party, PRTY.
Yay.